It's summertime and there's less going on in the Terraria right now. So instead of the usual update, I picked out clips of what I think is noteworthy, and I'm just going to briefly go over that. First is these nematode worms evacuating the soil in the T2.0.1 terrarium. This is something that also happened in the Terrarium 1.0. I think it's something that they do when the oxygen gets too low or something, but it might be a response to heat stress or something else instead. I don't really know why it happens, but since this is the second time I've seen it, it probably indicates something. Number 2 is these ants inside the carboy terrarium. They probably got in through the crack at the bottom, but they show us that A, things are still able to get in and out of this terrarium, and B, that the air in there is still breathable. The isopod corpses are turning red in the 2.0.1 terraria. Again, this is something that I've seen in the Terrarium 1.0s, so it's not without precedent. In fact, it's definitely a trend. This is not normally what these guys look like. There are piles of isopods in the corners of my house where the spiders get them, and those ones stay gray. So this is something that's going on inside the terraria. It means something. I don't know what it means, but it evidently means something. Fourth of all, there's something weird going on in the soil of the smaller 2.0.1 terrarium. It looks like either lichen, a bacterial mat, mold, or a salt deposit, but there's so much condensation on the inside of the glass that I can't really see. I'm leaning towards lichen or mold though. Fifth, there's a ton of mold growing in this 2.0.1 terrarium. That's part of why I think that the mats in the dirt of the other terrarium could be mold as well. In this case, the mold seems to be growing from some food scraps that I put in for the isopods. Those died before they could eat it, so now that food is rotting. The mold is also spreading to the plants, and again, that's something that we've seen in the Terrarium 1.0 jars as well. Number 6, the plants in the carboy terrarium are turning yellow in places. I think that's a natural response to either the summer heat or to sunlight because several of the plants outside of these terraria are also doing that. Number 7, some of the ivy in the smaller T2.0.1 terrarium is sick or dying. That might be related to the yellowing, or to the air, or disease, or anything. But most of the rest of the ivy in here still looks healthy, so we'll just see if it gets worse as the summer goes on. 8th, there's not a lot of change in the 1.0 terraria. I know that's not really something noteworthy, but I have some close-up footage of these that I wanted to put in here, so... so yeah, that's number 8. And last is the wine bottle terrariums. There's not a whole lot going on with these either. One of them has a lot more condensation on the glass. Since both of these wine bottle terraria had the same amount of water to start with, I'm not really sure why one of them has more condensation. Maybe it means that the lichen in that one is more active, or maybe something in the other one is more absorbent. I really have no idea. It's very peculiar. Okay, and that's all for today. I did not cover the indoor terraria or the ones in the front yard. I will probably try to get those into the next update. Since things are sort of going slower in the summer, there's not as much growth, especially once these terraria get established, they don't seem to change all that rapidly. So I probably will not be updating quite so frequently. I've been making these once every 2 weeks. Probably going to go to once every 3 weeks or once a month until either something new happens or until I make a new terrarium. I do have some plans for that, but haven't built them yet, so until then, the videos will probably come out weekly until I work through my backlog, but the actual updates I'll probably only be producing on a monthly basis for a while now.